I'm Sugden and I play Meshach in the school's production of Coram Boy. And I'm here to interview Mrs. de Mattos, who's the director of the production, and Mr. Adams, who's the director of music. So to start, how would you summarise the plot of Coram Boy?
So Coram Boy is about two boys who were orphaned in 18th century England and is also loosely based on historical events. There was a Coram hospital which was founded by Thomas Coram who wanted to serve women who found themselves with a child who they could not support financially or because they felt that society shamed them in some way for having a child out of wedlock.
What's the significance of using Handel's music in the production?
So the Coram Hospital had many benefactors, including German composer Handel. And in 1749, Handel gave a benefit concert at the Coram Hospital to raise money for the new chapel. And in this, he conducted his famous oratorio, Messiah. And this was very well attended, it raised a lot of money, and it ended up becoming an annual thing that he would conduct Messiah there. So part of what happens in the Coram Boy play is that the boys are receiving musical training and they're learning the various movements from the Messiah in preparation for this concert.
Where is thy sting, O death? Where is thy sting?
So the play opens with the boys rehearsing O Death, Where is Thy Sting, which is a duet from Messiah. And indeed, the whole thing ends with the benefit concert. So we see the cast singing the Alleluia chorus at the end.
Yeah, it's really interesting to know about the historical aspect of the play because music's in a lot of the scenes when we're rehearsing. So because music's in so much of the play, how does it underline the emotional arc of Coram Boy?
So there's a really interesting mix in Coram Boy of what we call diegetic music. And this is music whereby it's actually happening in the scene. So, for example, the boys are rehearsing for Messiah or performing in Messiah. There's also non-diegetic music, which is whereby we're in the head of the actors, as it were, and that's where it really kind of gets to us emotionally. So one such example is actually featuring your character, Meshach, who at this point in time is having to bury babies who are actually still alive. And we hear O Death, but it's now in a very kind of sad and tragic way. And then towards the end of that scene, we go back into real time and the boys are just rehearsing it for Messiah.
Thank you. When you're performing, it does have a really big impact on you hearing live music being sung around you. So, Mrs. de Mattos, what are the challenges of staging a play like Coram Boy? Where do you start?
Because Coram Boy is such an epic story and has so many different scenes within it, that is, if you like, the biggest challenge for us. There are at least 4 venues that have to be set on the stage. So we've decided to set it in the traverse, which means right the way through the hall, so that the audience are engrossed in the story and the plot and the journey between Gloucestershire and London. Gloucestershire, there is this black trade, if you like, of children that are being ferried out from the Ashbrook estate to London in the hope that these children will be delivered to Coram Hospital. But as we know, our evil protagonist, Otis Gardiner, your father in the play, has only one intent, which is to make money and do away with the children as best as he can. So if you like, that's the biggest challenge for me as a director, to make the story vivid, simple, straightforward and memorable.
That was a really nice answer. Well, for both of you, can you give an example of a specific scene where you work together with music and stagecraft in order to create a dramatic effect?
So the play is full of irony, and one of the ironies in the plot is that one of the girls that is related to the Ashbrook family becomes pregnant, and her name is Melissa Millcote, and she gives birth to a child in secret, if you like, away from her mother. And the story is incredibly powerful and exciting at that moment, and it's underpinned by very dramatic music.
Yeah, the music kind of gets increasingly tense, it gets louder, it gets increasingly dissonant, gets higher in pitch. But all this builds suddenly a very quiet moment when we hear a recomposition of one of the chorus numbers from Messiah, which is "For unto us a child is born," but it's sung kind of very hauntingly quiet, and a real kind of spine-tingling moment.
Unto us a son is given, unto us a son is given.
Thank you. There are a lot of intense moments which shape Coram Boy and build it up as a very exciting and thrilling production. So what other aspects can audience look forward to when they come to watch it?
Because the story is so dynamically told, firstly written by Jamila Gavin and then put to stage by Helen Edmondson, I would say that firstly the costumes are sumptuous and beautifully made in silks and taffetas, which really, if you like, set the scene. Then we have the set itself, which has been made by Mr. Bradley and the art department. Over weeks and weeks they've constructed mini sets and we've talked about how it will best work. So I would say those two things for me are things that audiences can look forward to when they come and see Coram Boy. We also have a very vibrant and creative team of sixth formers who are working on lighting and sound, which really enhance the atmosphere and bring the story to life. In addition, we have the musicians, which Mr. Adams may well be able to talk about at this point.
So we've got myself on keyboard and 5 string players as well. So some of the time they are a Baroque ensemble, playing Handel's music, and other times with this kind of Hollywood slushy score, doing the more emotive music.
It's brilliant to see all of the different aspects come together, and I've recently got my costume for both Act 1 and Act 2, and I'm really enjoying these breeches and waistcoat that I've got for Act 2. What are your overall goals for the production?
So the aim of the production is to bring to life the fragmented story of the children in the plot, and also to pay respect to all those children who've come before us in real life, if you like, who found their lives fragmented and torn apart. So the concept and the design of the set is very much in fragments, and we hope that the meaning behind those fragments delivers our aim.
And just on the subject of meaning, we've been really working with the cast on trying to make every movement mean something, make every word mean something, and with regards to the singing, really thinking about the phrasing to really convey that emotion to the audience.
I saw the production in 2004 with a group of GCSE pupils, and we were all blown away when we came out of the theatre by the sheer scale of the story and the way it had been set. And 20 years on, I cannot believe that we're actually putting it on in a school. Well, thanks very much, Sugden. It's been really great to talk to you, and we've really enjoyed the opportunity to talk about Coram Boy. Just one question that we've got for you would be, how do you prepare for a role? And what advice would you give to a pupil who might have stage fright?
So I do get really bad fear of performing and being on stage, and because I have very bad anxiety, that's something which I've learned that I will have it no matter what happens, and I have to remember that I have to focus on doing what I love despite having that fear inside of me, because I can't let this fright hold me back from what I really enjoy. So advice I'd give to someone else struggling with that is focus on what you're doing. So instead of walking into a scene and focusing on how other people will be perceiving you, remember that the scene and the story is about you and the other people within that scene, and there's no one else present, essentially. And also trying to separate yourself from the character, leaving your worries and the worries that you have outside of the rehearsal space and outside of the play, leave them outside and remember that when you're inside, you're able to lose yourself within the world of somebody else.